For you to understand why the devil is so obsessed with you sinning, you must first understand the nature of curses. Because all the efforts of him to throw you in sin, to make sure you're disobedient to God, to move you away from God, to do an opposite of what God has declared in his word, it has everything to do with curses. Let me explain this a little bit more. Curses are given a legal ground to operate by sin. I'll make an example. The Bible tells you that the wages of sin is death. So in other words, wherever sin is, death is close. So what the devil does is that when he wants to destroy a man, he first needs to introduce sin. In fact, in the kingdom of darkness, what they do, they send curses in the air. They speak curses that are associated with sins. So in other words, the book of Proverbs chapter 26 verse 2, it says, a curse without a cause cannot land on its intended victim. When you read it with another translation, it says, an undeserved curse cannot touch a person. Another translation would say that a curse cannot affect a person unless they deserve it. So in other words, if I can make an example, if there is a curse that says, if you are disobedient to God, you will lose all your finances. The devil knows that this curse will not work unless he makes you disobedient to God. So what he ends up doing is to force you to be disobedient to God, to tempt you, to push you to be disobedient to God, so that that curse can work. The devil creates an opportunity for a curse to work by tempting you to sin, so that the curse can destroy you. Because everything in the spirit works by legalities. If it is not legal, it will not touch you. That's why Proverbs 26 verse 2 says, a curse cannot work unless it's deserved. So just understand, when the devil is trying to make you sin, he's after something. There is something that he wants to do in your life that will not work unless you disobey God.